clicked it. It's like.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bob.
And I'm Galen.
Yes, and this is Board Game Rundown. You did it. You nailed it. Woo! What I love is right before we started, Bob's trying to launch the intro. It is mid-talking while it's not going. And then I love it when it gets cut, when your mic gets cut off trying to, like, well, I did the thing. And then it just goes into it. It's like, I laugh so hard every time. Well, welcome everybody for showing up tonight. Obviously, that excludes Mike for not showing up. He's not feeling good, and I think he's no, he's not feeling good, and he's also, I think, like in Detroit or something. So, not feeling good and out of town. So, Mike, feel better and safe travels. We'll keep the lights on for you, and then we'll see you when you get back.
Motel 8 or what?
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, if you guys have not been following the videos that we're putting out, like you don't know who Galen is, now's your chance to rectify that. So Galen Games, he has Super Snipers. He has this is the second Mint 10 series, correct?
Yep.
And I just want to say, Tiny Epic, eat your heart out. You don't have to say that. I'll say it. You got some really good games in literally like Altoid tin size boxes. Galen, let me not butcher your stuff. I'll let you talk about it for a minute.
Sure, no problem. So yeah, I'm Galen of Galen's Games, game designer and publisher out of Syracuse, New York, and currently on Kickstarter have the Mint 10 Series 2, like Tim mentioned. Mint 10 Series 1 delivered last year, ran that Kickstarter late fall of 24 and delivered in 25. I love watching that number go up. And so it went over really well. You know, with the Mint 10s, like you mentioned, I really focus on two-player head-to-head games with solo modes. That's kind of what I deliver with all of them. The overall pitch is like learn in 5 minutes, play in 20 minutes. The idea is you really can play them anywhere. So the cards, the final products are all PVC. They're waterproof. It, just makes it really durable. Oh, look, the video's just catching my points right there. And so variety of themes too. That's one of the things is as much as like, yeah, they're all two-player head-to-head games. They all have solo modes and they're all portable. They all fit in those Mint 10s. Very different games in all of these, and a decent amount of game in them all too. They are light for the most part. Mint Max would be the exception. But there's more to it. I kind of the different small game publishers out there, they're all doing their own things, and I feel like I have my own little corner. Somebody like the Alley Cat, the barbecues and stuff, those super light dexterity games. These are a little bit more gamer games. This is a little bit more towards that end, while staying way to the light end of the Tiny Epic series, right? So this isn't isn't just a tiny for tiny's sake. I'm not saying anything bad either. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. We got 4 new games for Series 2. I've got 2 expansions for 2 of those games, and then I got 2 expansions for Series 1, all in this Kickstarter. So a whole bunch of stuff, and it's been going extremely well for me. So yeah.
And if you've missed the others, you have the opportunity. There's a level where you can back, where you can get all the old ones. So
correct.
If you have missed out or you're just not learning about it, now's your chance. Yeah, we did videos on all of these. We did videos on the original 4 as well. So if you've got questions on those, go back and check them out. I can tell you that, like, I was very pleasantly surprised with all of them. I think that probably in each series you might have like a favorite one, but I really enjoyed all of them. And I also like that they all feel very different. So like they all present sort of their own little puzzle, like the way that you're working it, and you're playing it. And so to have these games where, I don't want to say like have this gimmick, because that's not really fair to the game and what you've done, but that they have sort of these little twists to them, right? But they all feel unique and all stand alone, and not just like, well, this is the soccer version of this, and this is the World War II version of this, and this is the cyberpunk version of it. You know, like, no, these all feel, they're all very standalone, but
yeah, and so, you know, sometimes the backers, more so I think from other publishers, they're a little bit surprised by that, you know, there's this sense that you're going to put things out there, they got to be connected by theme in some way, right? And we've seen that, you know, not work so well in other places where there might be connected by a designer, but they're different size boxes or things like that. And honestly, the variety is kind of the point a little bit, so that, you know, the portability, collectability, you know, the player count, the experience is all the same, but yeah, a lot of variety there. You know, on the other end, post Kickstarter, you know, at conventions, I really like to be able to kind of, you know, most people who come up, there's going to be something you're going to like there, right? Maybe you're into all of them. Maybe you just came for the soccer game. That's all you want. That's what you're going to walk away with. I love it. I'm happy that happens. So I like having that variety. And I think, one of the, you know, there's a lot of things I've done wrong as a publisher. And one of the things I think I did right was, you know, doing the 4 games in a single Kickstarter, because after that, I went from having 1 game to having 5. And after, you know, this, I'm going to have like 12. So, you know, a lot of variety in there.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite or a couple of favorites?
Yeah. So, I'll always kind of like little caveats there. So from the first series, Dice Clash is my favorite to play. I think Burden, Arizona is the best actual game.
That was my favorite one, and that shocked me. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, yeah.
Please
no,
continue.
I mean, it's a really good game. It's you know, Burden, Arizona. That's designed by Robin David, and it is just very elegant, very satisfying. Cozy cutthroat. It's as I say, it's a weirdly mean game about collecting cactuses, right? Like, so a lot of fun to be had in that one. Dice Clash is the one I like to play the most. I have a lot of fun with that one.
Sure.
And then from the newest series, you know, I'll throw in the caveat. I'm a little biased. I love Mint Max. That's my design out of them. That's my favorite one to play. That said, I think Hard Drive's probably got the best solo mode, and also just I like all the games. It's really fantastic. And I think all said and done, maybe not necessarily on the Kickstarter, but I think out in the wider world, I think Kickabout has the most potential for just a wide range. It's just such a simple, elegant, good game that you can play with anyone. It's by far the lightest game of any that I've released, and it's, you know, you can teach it to your grandma or teach it to a kid, and you're playing in a minute. So
I can tell you that Bob and I had a great time playing Kickabout, and that might have been one of the ones that we were most skeptical about, right? You know, it's like, okay, like out of these, it's like I'll probably, you know, like it'll be fine, you know, like I'll try it out and I'll see. But then, because like the same thing with Verde, Arizona is like, I'm not a nature game guy. Like I'm just kind of over so many nature games out, right? Like, okay, we get it, blah, 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 nature games, you know, and
get it. There's an outdoors.
Yeah. I'm a nerd. Look at my skin. I like to be inside.
Yeah.
But no, there's something to be said though, when you've got these games that you're like, well, I'm not super excited about that theme or whatever. And then you play that game and it's amazing. And then it's like, holy shit, how did that just become my favorite one of the bunch? You know, and like, you know, so you talk about Kickabout, and I, you know, like Bob and I mean, we follow sports, but not soccer.
Right.
You know, and so we like sports, but you know, as far as soccer goes, it's like, whatever. And I mean, we're playing that game and it's like, we're cussing at each other. You know what I mean? Like we're into it. And, you know, it was great head-to-head competition, and it felt good. It made sense, you know, like, which is also kind of crazy that you can actually have the theme apply. You know what I mean? It makes sense.
Yeah,
So-
no, there's definitely that kind of that narrative develops as it happens that, you know, what's happening does make sense, right? Like now you got the ball back. It has that kind of, even if you don't love soccer or football, I'm going to call it football because the designer's English. And
yeah,
you know,
nope, that's fair.
you know, but that whole kind of back and forth, and that moment when you finally get to take the shot, if you've ever watched a soccer game, that's an exciting moment. And if it goes through, good God, that's really exciting, right? I think it just really captures that little corner of it. Yeah, there's some neat thematic things going on there.
It does that build up, right? It's pass. You got to kick now, you know. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Because again, you're playing the player as much as you are playing the game, you know, with the timing of when you're dropping those cards, you know, like what are you playing? What are you playing when you're doing this? And it's super fun.
Not that every game needs it, but like my favorite 2-player games develop that meta between 2 competitive players, right? Like, you know, whoever your player 2 is normally, whether it's your wife or your best friend or whatever, when you play a lot with somebody, I love games that make space for that to kind of develop, for that, you know, back and forth to happen. It's, you know, in a lot of ways there's plenty of luck, but there is, I call it the Princess Bride effect, right? Like,
that's right.
I know
clearly cannot choose this.
You know.
Yes.
And
yes.
Damn it.
It's so satisfying, man. It's so satisfying. It's super fun.
Only we hadn't gotten into a land war in Asia.
Yeah. We'll never learn.
Yeah, we should say hi to some of our irregulars here. I haven't pulled a hammy playing it, but I have, got
Kickabout. Yeah.
Let's see here. We got Jazz.
What up, Jazz?
With the chat. We got the Mr. Rossi up with the chat. How's it going?
Hey, Dave. Excellent. Yeah. Appreciate that.
We love us some Rossies. They're the best.
We got the goose up in the house. And
so when I introduced Galen, I didn't want to be mean, but I almost said my second favorite New Yorker.
Yeah.
Because Googs would have to be my first.
It's a big state. That's not bad, you know.
Yeah, right. It's not bad. Yeah. It's respectable.
I appreciate you keeping that in perspective. You're putting that in the proper light.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Josh?
I mean, and that really reps Syracuse too. If that's, you know,
that's, man,
you know,
hot spot, man.
Pretty good.
Syracuse might be my favorite city in New York right now. It's got some of my favorite people.
All right.
It's pretty good times. It's not a bad medium-sized city at all.
I've only been there once. It was cool.
Yeah.
For KickStarter.
Quick question. Being from that area, you ever hear of a little town called Hinsdale?
No, actually.
Okay. They got like a stop sign. So it's not surprising you hadn't heard of them. But I had grandparents from there. Like my grandpa was the judge. My uncle was like the fire chief. Grandma was the treasurer.
Like what part of the state?
It's right up by like Buffalo, Syracuse area. So yeah, it's like it's right up there. But like when I say they have a stop sign, that's about what they had there was a stop sign. It was a real small town. So
small town in a big state. But yeah, there's actually a town of Galen somewhere in New York too. And I've always thought it'd be fun to go and like run for mayor. I mean, the signs would sell. So only Galen knows what Galen needs. You know,
What up, Jeff? Good to see you. Jeff also has a campaign running right now with our friend West Todd's game Wildside, but also
you heard us talk about that.
Yeah, Hit the Slopes, which is a trick-taking game, and then Feudal. Haven't played Feudal yet, but that's their Kickstarter it's called the Trifecta, so you can find it over there.
Yep.
Dope.
Other screen is still loaded. What the heck is going
Also,
on?
yeah. Bobby.
Yes.
Why don't we get into that list?
That's a good idea.
There we go.
Before we get into our list, we should talk a second about our awesome sponsor.
Stay tuned for a 23-minute advertisement.
23-minute. Tony over at Lawhorn Design does great, banners, table coverings, web design, t-shirts, just about anything you might need if you're going to like a convention or just like in general for your business. A lot of this stuff is made right here in the USA, so it supports local. And check them out, and I'm going to roll that beautiful bean footage.
Get your games noticed with help from Lawhorn Design. eye-catching backdrops, banners, table covers, signage, and much, much more. All shipped directly to you or your next big show. Fast, reliable rush orders are always available to keep you prepared and professional. Contact Lawhorn Design today for all your creative marketing, branding, website, and event display needs.
Hey.
Yeah, reach out to Tony. He's a good guy, and tell him the Board Game Rundown sent you. So,
Not sends their regards.
not sends the regards. That's very stabby. So don't do that. We're not looking to stab him. So,
Yeah, not yet.
not yet.
I don't know what that means. All right. So our list tonight, our theme is games that we have lucked into, right? Like we sort of accidentally discovered, we're not, maybe you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, first of all, you guys have done a lot of themes. You've done a lot of lists. It's hard to come up with something. That's what gave me. So, title is Games of Chance, not actually Games of Chance, literally, but rather, a game that you ended up falling in love with or playing a lot or became an important part of your life for some reason, that was just by chance. It was interesting. And, kind of as I was talking about with Tim, was for a lot of people, I'm sure this is true as well. Just thinking back to, before I was so incredibly plugged in and, knew everything and always show up with 10 boxes of games and I have a game for every experience. But, no, you travel and you brought one game with you and you didn't even know what it was when you took it out, but it's the game you're playing for the next 10 days because you're on the road and things like that. So I thought that there might be some interesting stories that came from that.
Yeah. So what I really liked about your suggestion is the stories, right? Because the opportunities to talk about these games, because some of these games maybe two of these games I've talked about before, a little bit. It's shown up on lists, but I think they are, to me, important to where I am as a gamer, and where I'm at in the hobby now, because the majority of this list is stuff that I came to way before I even knew I was a gamer. You know what I mean? Like, and now I look back and you're like, oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. That one, that actually helped me get into the hobby,
Absolutely.
And then I've got two that are just experiences that I had with games that then turned into so much more, and it's just by dumb luck, that it happened, right? By chance I'm
looking forward to the stories. Yeah. That's the idea.
So that's where I went with the list. I liked your idea, Bobby. Did you just do luck games, or what do you got?
No. So I said I kind of misunderstood the assignment. These are games that I probably never would have picked up off the shelf, but somebody proposed them to me or brought it and said, "Hey, let's play." I gave it a chance, and I was like, "Man, I really like this game," and I ended up picking myself up a copy. And there is one that I just got it because I took a chance on it because I knew I liked the designer. So I took a chance on
those are all valid reasons to be on your list. 100%. 100%. And I mean, we kind of talk about it a little bit with some of just when we were talking about the Minton games, right? Where you're like, oh, I didn't expect to like Kickabout as much as I did. I didn't expect to like
a football game.
Right. I wouldn't have picked up a cactus collecting game, oh, fine. I would have Dice Clash, the one with the what's his name? Campos did the art.
Monster Mashup.
Yeah, Monster Mashup. Hell yeah, I'm in. I thought that was going to be my favorite one.
Yep.
And it's not that it wasn't good. I loved it, but the damn cactus game was my favorite one. It's like, what the hell happened? So yeah, I mean that just by chance, and I think also, Bob and I have definitely learned, being in sort of the content creation space, is you can't dismiss stuff, by looks. You actually got to get in there and play it, because you be open to surprises, be open to that joy.
Yeah, I mean, that's true generally too. Yeah,
I mean in life, right?
Yeah, with a theme, the last time I think we did the top, 10 good and bad things about small box games. It was very kind of relevant to what I do. And this one's a little bit more of just kind of me spinning out the fantasy a little bit that, you know, these are the kind of games that you'll find yourself with on a long train ride and, you know, have one of these experiences. I think that's the hope. And I certainly have found, you know, one of the advantages of doing smaller games is people do play them. And that's not a small thing. It's one thing to sell your game, and it's another thing to have people actually play it. You know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
You know, you talk about, you know, being open to new things. And I got this buddy that I've known for a long time. He likes to play like the same games. He doesn't like to learn new things, you know, because he's kind of comfortable. But it's like every time he finally gets out of his shell and he learns something new and he really likes it, I'm like, see, if you hadn't have tried something new, you wouldn't have found out you really like this game. You know, so you got to be willing to put yourself out there and try. So
It's worth it. It's worth it. Some of the games are going to suck, and some of them you're going to be so glad.
That's right.
So glad you gave a shot. And it's fine. That's life.
Yeah. What is it? To quote Cartman, you know, if you want to make new friends, first you got to sort through some dicks. So.
Facts. That's how we found Bobby.
That's right. Tim's just swiping through.
Oh, hey, he looks cool.
All right. So you guys
Thank
ready?
you, Grinder. Yeah, let's go.
Oh. All right.
So I know
All right.
normally Bob or Mike is in my spot and goes last. Do you want me to go first or last, Bob?
I figured you would go last. Like we'll go.
Okay.
That way we keep the position right because you're kind of in that spot.
That's totally fine.
That spot. I'm not sure.
Totally good.
That spot.
Yeah, whatever.
Whichever way that ends up being.
This spot right here.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so my number 5. I probably never would have picked this game up. Mike was going on and on and on about it. Finally, I was like, fine, I'll play. And it turns out it's a game a lot like a game I used to play growing up. And it's actually, I think it was on one of his lists. I'm talking about Mythical Dice. I never would have picked this up and played it. I mean, it's trick taking, sure, but the way it plays and what you do, it's so much fun with the 1 dice, then 2, then 3, and then you're trying to bid on how many you're going to take, and you don't really know what you have until you roll it. And sometimes those shitty dice can win tricks you didn't expect to win, and it just makes
didn't
for
want
some
to
really
win.
good moments. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess I could probably bring it up on here. I showed you instead of typing it up because for me, I'm going to have to be doing the typing while they're talking, so I figured it's easier for me to just have a visual.
Yeah, if you've got your visuals, that's totally fine.
Yep, I got all my visuals right here because they are all games I picked up. So yeah, Mythical Dice. If you haven't tried it, give it a chance. I think you really enjoy it, especially if you enjoy trick takers because of that twist of like, you know, how do I take it? It's like taking a trick with like a 2. You lead that 2, nobody else can follow suit, and all of a sudden you're taking that trick and you're like, well, I didn't expect to take that with that piece of crap, but
right,
it happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny. It's so funny when it happens too.
Yeah,
like
because they're like trying to shoot the moon and not take any and get a bunch of points, and that last one they roll that gray die and they get a 7. They're like, "Are you kidding me?"
I love it. That is the that's the secret sauce, right? That's the zhuzh in that game that that puts it over, and makes it stand out.
I have not played that one. That sounds fascinating. You gotta try that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, if you like trick taking games, it's a really unique take on that trick taking without betraying the trick taking like soul of it. You know, yeah. Because we were just talking about that. I get mad at games that say they're trick taking, and then it's like, no, that's just a part of it. That's a lie.
Trick taking,
right.
Taking adjacent.
Cake is a lie too, Tim. So don't be alarmed.
Yeah, that's cake is a lie. You bastards.
All right, what you got?
So this goes over to me now.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So for my number 5, I'm gonna start at kind of my origin story as a modern gamer, and Dominion. Thunderstone could be in here as well. I was introduced to both about the same time. So
nice.
Way back in 2011, I had started dating my current wife. She was out here at Syracuse.
Don't call her your current wife to her face.
Yeah, they don't like that.
They do.
Good. Okay. So my wife.
My wife. She likes
Yeah.
that better. Yeah.
So she was a grad student, out here at SU, and I was coming to grad school, and so in her department, they were all big gamers, and I knew nothing about modern games. I knew nothing about games. I grew up in kind of a poker, rummy family. High school was euchre and pinochle. Nothing. Monopoly and so deck building was kind of the first thing that I was shown. Dominion and then Thunderstone also, and not only deck building, but deck building with people who were really good at the game. And it was just, my mind was just opened and blown away, and I was in it, and I was excited, and I was just off the cliff at that moment. Just fascinated by it. Thunderstone especially. I think that was my favorite. There was one guy, John Adams, if any chance he's out there, he was so good at that game. I'm sure I still couldn't come anywhere near him at this game, but it was just fascinating to watch that and how deep people got into it. And it's kind of my origin story as a gamer. And it was, I think about it, some of the other games that I played along the way, that if those were the introductions, I'm not sure I would have gone as deep in, like if Le Havre game or Agricola, I probably would have. I'm good. Yeah. But this really captured my imagination. I loved it.
I feel like the universe finds you right at the right time, and it provides what you need at that moment, and then sucks you in.
Thunderstone art is still so good too. So good.
Dude,
Yeah.
So I played Thunderstone Quest at a convention with some guys, and was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And that was just like one play, and then found basically through a couple of trades, and then like being at some conventions where there were like auctions and flea markets and stuff, I picked up a bunch of old school Thunderstone stuff, but I've never played it yet. But I got that, and I've got Thunderstone Quest now because I just really liked what it did and the way it played. And I love, like, I don't love playing Dominion now, but I love Dominion for what it has done for the hobby with like the deck building that mechanism that it introduced and brought to the hobby, and then has spawned so many of my favorite games, so
absolutely. Yeah. Dominion is that, absolute pure deck building. You're building a deck to eventually convert it to points, period. And what I liked about Thunderstone was it took that formula. I'm building a deck so that I can defeat monsters. So that and that just that little wrinkle was everything for me. Like it was
puts it like it did what you needed it to do, right? It was just like that little a bit of seasoning in there to get you there. So kind of like you, I'm gonna go with one of my earliest entries into gaming here, and this is my number 5 only because it's the furthest away from the hobby as we talk about it on this show. But it's definitely integral to it. So when I was, and I still am, when I was younger, I was a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan, right? Like I loved horror, reading horror and stuff. And my dad's, like I'm a cranky old Gen Xer. He's a cranky old boomer, so he's like, oh, well, you like Stephen King, you should read like the stuff that inspired Stephen King, like, cause he's like a blues guy, right? So he's like, oh, you like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, you should listen to the stuff that inspired Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, so he'll always, that's his default, right? So go to H.P. Lovecraft. And I'm literally at the mall in Clarksville, Indiana, southern Indiana, right across the river from Louisville. And I walk into this game store not knowing anything about anything. I went in honestly looking for comic books. And I see this big honking book with not Cthulhu on the cover, but just his eye peering at a very tiny person. And it was the 5th edition of Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game. And I hadn't played D&D yet. I hadn't played any of the other role-playing games yet. I bought this source book because it had stats for all the monsters. It had like little synopses of the stories and the different characters in the stories. And like I bought it because of like all the lore and everything that was in this book. And then I went to one of my buddies in middle school then, and I'm like, hey man, like this is actually a game. Like, would you want to try to play it? And so, 12, 13-year-old me is like learning how to play and run Call of Cthulhu. It was crazy and off the rails. And I would have hated being in that game because it was a game run by a 12-year-old, 12-year-olds, right? You know what I mean? So like it was insane and stupid. But, but now like I look back at that and it's like just that dumb chance wandering into that game store, because then what I did was I went back into that game store like the next time I was at that mall and I freaking bought Magic cards, you know what I mean? And I bought other role-playing game books and you know what I mean? It started getting into it, right? And not realizing that it was setting me up for where I am now in the hobby. And I still have that freaking book. It's really funny. No, it's the one with the big Cthulhu eye on the front. It's not that one. Don't make me run over and grab it during the next story.
Look up. I tried to look for it on BGG, and like there's like 1,000 things.
Yeah, no, there's a million of them, and there's been a million editions. And it's really funny because Sandy Peterson from Peterson Games, who designed one of my favorite games, Cthulhu Wars, he actually, was a big part of this. And I was like, hey man, big Call of Cthulhu fan, would you sign that's the one. Would you sign my Call of Cthulhu book? And I brought that one and he's like, oh, you don't have the other one? And I'm like, why would I have the other one? He's like, well, it has my picture in it. I'm like, no, I want you to sign this one because this was the first one that I ever bought. You know what I mean? And he was a good sport. He's like, oh, I get that. And yeah, Chris, you're right. That's how I know I was, because I say Louisville, you say it the right way. You don't say Louisville or Louisville. It's Louisville. If people from Louisville, you say Louisville. That's it. Yeah. You got to put that drawl on it.
Mouthful of marbles.
That's it. But yeah, so that original Call of Cthulhu tabletop RPG, OG, like when we were talking about the stories, this was the first one I thought of, Galen, because you're like, what got you in? Like serendipitous moments, right? Mm-hmm. And like your brain just explodes. It's like that meme, like the galaxy behind somebody as they're like, figuring stuff out. Like
never the same again. Yeah.
That's it, brother. That is it. My brain chemistry changed, like what? You can gamify this?
He's failing to mention all the mushrooms he ate before he went into that. Saw those books. He's like, I had all these synapses firing.
Listen, coincidence. Yeah, correlation is not causation.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Are there 2 number 4s? Are there 2 number 4s?
All
right. So my number 4, it just kind of worked out this way because I'm not trying to give Mike any credit. But
oh boy,
this was
Mike's throwing his shoulder out.
I know
he's on the back somewhere in the hotel room.
Oh, my throat hurts, but man, now my shoulder's starting to hurt too. But no, he had this game for a few months, and he kept trying to get us to play. And I kept looking at the box, and I'm like, I don't want to play this game. Like I actively avoided playing this game until recently at a small local convention that we had. He had it. It played a high player count. It plays. I guess it only plays 5. It seems like I think we had 5 people. And we're like, what do we have? It's 5 people. That doesn't take very long to play. And he pulled this game out, and I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot. But Courtesans is really good.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if you've played Courtesans or not. Like, because I looked at this box, and Brian, my other game I played, and I didn't like it at all. So I actually actively avoided it. But in this game, you've got the Queen's table, and you have these tarot cards, and you're going to draw 3 off this deck, and you have to place 1 in front of you, 1 in front of somebody else, and then 1 at the Queen's table, either above the table, which is in her favor, or below the table, which is out of her favor. And at the end, once you go through all of the whole deck, you're going to see which houses are out of favor, which ones are in favor, and depending on what cards are in front of you, you're going to gain points / lose points. So, like here's the table right here. You can see there's like some cards below it and above it and below it. But then you're also playing those same cards in front of people. Some of them are like assassins, and you can get rid of other cards. Some of them have shields that you can't get rid of. Some of them are spies that you're placing face down, so nobody knows what you're giving them or what you're putting at the table, and if they're going to be in favor or out of favor. The cards are really pretty. They have cool, really nice foiling on them. And then there's this kind of like knit mat you roll out. That's the table. And we played it, re-racked, played it, re-racked, played it. Any game that you can kind of keep doing that back to back to back. And then every time I've played this, I've never played this game just one time when we pulled it out. So I was glad I took the chance on this because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that after the first day of playing it a few times in a row, I went and bought it because I wanted to have my own copy because I was like, I can get this play with a bunch of people. It takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes to play. So, supports 5 and just those quick turns of like, do I put one down in front of me? I have to put one in front of somebody else and I put one at the table. And you have to do that every single turn. So you're giving people either points or you're trying to give them the negative points. Yeah, it's just really good.
I just played this for the first time a couple of weeks ago with you guys. And I at first I was like, yeah, whatever. And then as we started to play it, and it's like all coming together and the machinations and the plotting and the scheming, and it's like, oh, yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you need one of these gray ones. No.
Yeah.
Kill that times 2 over here. Dang it.
Yeah, good stuff. It is a really good game. I agree.
All right, I'm done giving props to Mike. None of the rest of these
good
with Mike whatsoever.
The rest of it is screw Mike. I do hope you feel better.
This game, so it's the best one ever. Yeah,
exactly right. No more credit for Mike.
No more credit.
But better to do it while he's not here.
Exactly. I figured, well, now's the time, right? He's not here. I can give him a little bit of props because he's probably not watching. Hopefully, he's sleeping and getting better. And so, yeah.
But that leads me to this question then. Why don't you guys say nice things about me when I'm not on the stream?
I have a hard time finding those things. I mean, I've known you 20-some years, so that's right. The last nice things I had to say, I think I said at your most recent wedding.
Yeah, my current wife.
For your current wife, yeah. So after that, I'm out. I'm out of good things.
I think I just heard my wife go, "What?" Oh shit. I'm going to tell her it's your fault, Bob, because she likes you. So
that's because we make fun of you all the time.
That's fair. Also true. That's probably why she likes you so much. Oh shit. Okay, Galen, what do you got for your number 4, sir?
So my number 4 is the only one that might be a game that you guys haven't played. We'll see. Is Corsari. This is an old Rio Grande card game. And so this was, back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I just mean like a, time in history, but a personal history time where the idea of traveling with more than one game that wasn't a little card game is insanity. There it is. Love this game.
Sweet. Yep.
And so, you just didn't do that. If you brought a game, it was a game. It wasn't a big box, and you played it a lot. So Corsari was our travel game. I have played this. Airbnbs, picnic tables in Italy, airplane tables. It's the cards are that beautiful thing that never happens to games anymore because I have too many games and I don't play any one game enough. But they're all kind of soft and worn down, and they have that shuffle feel. It's been played a billion times. So this is a great game. It's a bit like it's a bit of a rummy style game. You're creating melds. You're trying to set sail with the lowest number is the idea. So you got that pirate theme, and it's got that kind of it's got a row in the center that picks basically what the more or less what's considered it's stowaways, but it's the trump suit or whatever. And so what you're doing is you're building a meld of 2 different colors. You can have 2 different colors, but they can't share numbers between the colors. And then anything that is in the trump/stowaway suit is free. It doesn't count at all. But when you're pulling cards, you can pull from the top of the deck, top of the discard, or you can pull from that stowaway pile, and now the next stowaway becomes the trump. And so there's some really tricky things you can do. It's got a shoot the moon mechanism where if you can get 0, you just win the game.
Nice.
Yeah, which is, I love that in games. And it's just it's a wonderful game, basically where the first 500 points or whatever loses. My wife and I are very, very competitive, wife and current wife. And
nice. I love it. That's the theme tonight.
Right. Hey, I don't even have a current wife, so
Yeah.
So, it's the kind of game that if I came across it now, I might play it once and say, hey, that's cool. And it would just go back in my memory. But the fact that it was our travel game and we played it over and over, I just have this absolute deep love for it. It's just like euchre was in college. It just becomes second nature and a lot of fun to play. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's all. But again, right? Like, it's so cool. Like, one of the things I just love about this hobby is that games become part of your story.
Mm-hmm.
And they, your journey, your story, when you're talking to people and you're relaying these experiences to, you're relating to other people and you're talking about it and you're like, oh yeah, we did this. And, and yeah, like we played this game the whole time and we bonded over that, like just all those kind of things. And I love it. I just love that about the hobby. All right. So
real quick,
what?
I'm pretty sure it doesn't come with the Smurf. It did pop up in the pictures. I saw that for a quick second.
I must have missed that picture. It was there.
I missed the picture. I missed that picture, but yeah, if it doesn't come with a Smurf, I'm out. Never mind. Galen, your pick was dog shit. I hate it.
Popped up the first time through the pictures, but now it's not popping up. That's weird. Anyway.
So anyways, I guess I'm just, I didn't realize that I kind of had done my list maybe in a chronological order, but it's sort of in a chronological order. So, right around or shortly after the time that I had discovered, Call of Cthulhu, I was also in Louisville, Kentucky with, this time with my mom and not my dad. My parents were divorced. But I'll just never forget this, is I was at my grandparents' house and we went and my mom let me pick out something. And I don't know why, but I bought the game Hero Quest off the shelf.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And like she let me get it. I got it. I took it back. I played it with my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, and my mom, and then I wouldn't let them play anything else. Like I was obsessed with this game, like played through all the missions, and there was like trying to come up with my own because there was that little spot in the back of the quest book where you could draw your own. But I was drawing them in pencil because I wanted to be able to erase them. And then I discovered grid paper and then was, like just doing them on grid paper and doing my own things and like playing it solo because nobody would play it with me, and then went back and got like Kelvar's Keep, and then the other one, the Witch something. There was 2 expansions that I can remember having originally that came out with that. And yeah, I just love this game, like miniatures on a board, dungeon crawling. And this was really like, I think I was aware of D&D from like advertisements in comic books. But like this was like really my first taste of like that high fantasy adventure, dungeon crawly kind of thing. And I still love dungeon crawlers to this day, whether I'm doing it in a video game, a board game, whatever. And Hero Quest was so formative for me. And like the first game I had that had miniatures outside of Monopoly, you know what I mean? Where like everybody's just fighting instead of fighting over who's the car or the Scotty dog, because like those were the ones we always wanted to be in my house. It was who gets to be the barbarian, you know what I mean? Like I just want to swing that sword and like just destroy everybody. But then like learning that the dwarf is actually pretty cool, or the wizard's actually pretty cool too, with more plays. And you get to do that? Wait, what? I want to be that character, but Hero Quest was so cool. And it's very dated now. They did do a Hasbro did do a Hero Quest First Light, which is a really good even from a cost point, like price point aspect,
implementation kind of.
Yeah, like a really nice entry level, like here, get you in and ease you into a dungeon crawler. I think even better than the original, because the original, it was just like, Hasbro's just cranking out games, right? We're just going, here's this game, somebody's going to buy this game, and like for me, for whatever reason, my eyes didn't glaze over at a rule book more than 2 pages. Like, because I still have friends that are like that. It's like, I don't want to learn that. like if you want to learn it and teach me, fine. But you know, like my mom definitely wouldn't have wanted to learn it, but I don't know how or why, but somehow I was so enwrapped with like this game and what it could offer that I was more than happy to go through the rule book and try to learn everything about it and get it running. And so yeah, as a very young teenager discovering Hero Quest and just being like, holy shit, this is amazing. So yeah. Hero Quest has to be my number 4.
All right.
Great story. Yeah. 3 we go.
A game called Hotels? I did not.
I don't know that one.
But I'm definitely a sucker for table presence. Still am, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, that game has 3D buildings. I'm in.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it sucks or not. Like, I'm looking at it.
Amen.
All right.
Question for Galen now is when's the next Mint 10 game? When's the Mint 10 game coming out that has a massive board presence and giant 3D buildings and stuff?
No, you're actually get once you get all the Mint 10 games, you can build terrain out of those Mint 10s.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Normally, I'd say, Hoop, don't bail them out, but I do like that idea.
Nothing even remotely close to that, but it's worth mentioning. So with Mint Mechs, there's an expansion that allows you to play for 3 or 4 players, and so it adds 2 elevated areas that are only accessible by the teleporters. And as I was playtesting this with my local group, one of the playtesters, Jono, had this fantastic idea, and she said, flip the tin over, put the thing on top. Now you got an elevated area. That's absolutely how it's going to play. So it'll literally be a little bit elevated.
Dude,
That's
is
awesome.
amazing. And your
Brilliant.
playtest group is the bomb because they came up with that. Yeah,
for sure.
Good for, great idea. Love that.
All right. Now that takes us to number 3. Okay. If you've watched this show and you know me, you would know if you can read the side of that box and it says a social deduction game, you know I would never pick this box out of the shelf anywhere, anytime. But Tim made me do it. I kept the open mind. I took the chance, and Fall of Kingdoms was awesome. Like, there's so much kind of just bluffing and intrigue and wheeling and dealing and like trying to cahoot with people. And then there's, because you have these multiple like identity cards and you're using them saying, because they're hidden. You're like, I have this guy and I'm going to do this action, and people can try to call you on your shit, or they get to believe you because if they call you out and they're wrong, they lose a guy. But then there's also like what they call the house, which is just like a random mix of cards that has a bunch of those jobs still in there because you deal some out and then there's still some like left over. So there's never perfect information. And man, we've had so much fun with this game, and I'm glad that we've been working with them, and it's a social deduction game that I'm willing to play. So even if there is what I'm saying is if there's a genre of games that you just can't stand, it's always worth giving it a chance, right? Like I can't stand social deduction games. It's one of my least favorite mechanisms, but boom, there's one to, I guess, prove the rule, disprove the rule, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But like, you got to give it a chance. You'll never know unless you try. You know, like I wasn't super sure about Blood on the Clock Tower. I played it, and I confirmed my suspicions. Did not care for it. Probably will never play it again. But I was like, well, I'll try this one too. And lo and behold, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy because I knew that I was gonna like this game. So when they were like looking for content creators, I'm like, ooh, pick me. Like I like, I like this kind of stuff. And then, and I knew Mike liked that kind of stuff. And the way that this game does it is so unique. Well, I say unique. I can think of like Masquerade as a game that I like that does a similar thing. But this game does it really well. And I love it when you have to admit I'm right. So it's all.
That's not what I was saying.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, not what I was saying. Anyways.
All right, Galen, what do you got? What's your next one, man?
So my number 3 is a game some people might have heard of called Scythe. And so my story with this one, and some people may have heard this one before. Again, personal history. Back in the day, didn't know about BGG, didn't, no Discord, no groups, no talking with people about games, not reading reviews, not knowing anything, just walking through our local game store, play the game, read the story here in Syracuse, New York, and looking at covers, right? And this cover,
it's amazing.
We're talking 20 to 30 times. Okay. 20 to 30 times I would walk into the store. I would see this cover. And I'd be like, oh yeah. I'd pick up the box and I'd be like, pick up the box. I'd say mechs. And I'd turn it over. And I'd say farming. Never mind. I'd put it back.
Yeah.
It was weird. And no matter how many times I'd still pick up the box. Like, okay. Mechs. And I look at the back. I'm like, it's like a resource management game. Like, it looks okay. And I just kind of, every time I would do that same thing. Front of the box, I want it, back of the box, never mind. And I finally just said, you know what, let me take a chance on this. I think I had heard something at that point, and absolutely, I mean, it's easily in my top 10 games, maybe in my top 5. Just adore this game. And also, yes, the mechs are not the point. They're a lot of fun. They're important. Combat plays a very, very small role in the game, which was, something I was concerned about, but I was concerned about it for the wrong reasons, because the game is so damn good.
It's great despite the mechs.
Yep.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, despite your disappointment on there not being mech focused and mech combat, it's like, no, actually, it's still legit really good.
100%. So yeah, that was kind of a, I suppose not exactly chance, because I gave myself a lot of opportunities, but I finally got worn down and I gave it a chance, and I couldn't be happier that I did. Oh, that's
well, I mean, I think it still definitely qualifies, because you did finally give in, though, right after a lot of back and forth, and you're like, it had you never, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have that experience.
And I mean, that's a hefty chance, right? It's not like, oh, this is a $20. I'm gonna take a $20 swing on this game.
Yeah,
that's a hefty investment. But
and that was also, I love this game. That was a time where meaningful purchases like that were few and far in between before the life I live now, where Kickstarters are showing up all the time, and I got to stop doing it. But right, yeah, it meant, you're exactly right. It was a hefty investment.
Yeah, that was I was really lucky. I had the opportunity to play a prototype of this, because my sister and brother-in-law were friends with people that did some playtesting for Stonemaier back in the day, and they had a copy of this in Indy. And so when I was playing it, like, some of the mechs were like ships from Eclipse, and and other things, and like the cards were like just printed out, and they were like backed by Magic cards. You know what I mean? Like, just what
a million games like that.
It was one of the very first prototypes I was ever exposed to.
Wow.
And like, you talk about just dumb luck, right? Right place, right time. And it's like, holy shit, this game is awesome. And I had only ever played from like Stonemaier, I think. Oh no, I played Viticulture and I played Euphoria. So I was aware of like Stonemaier and, like, what's up, kind of with them. And especially then, when he kind of really had like that thing about getting the stars, getting to those, that particular style of like Victory Point. I love Scythe. I would rather play Scythe, though, with people that don't have that as their lifestyle game, because people that get it good at Scythe, they're like chess players. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's your opening move. Your first 3 or 4 moves, like, for some of those people, are like always the same. I don't love that. I'd rather play with new people, because whatever. It's an embarrassment of riches, but I don't really get to have a lifestyle game because of all the new games I've got to play all the time. Get to play all the time and want to play all the time. So I don't always get to play one game like 100 times. Like, if you got 3 games in your collection and Scythe is one of them, play that sucker 40 times a year, because it's awesome and it's worthy of it. But I don't have that opportunity. But then I do not stand a chance when I sit down to play that game with you, because you've played that game 40 times this year and I played it once in the last 3 years.
Exactly.
You know. But no, Scythe is amazing. The artwork is amazing. The artwork is on that game alone is enough to just bring people in, and it's worthy of it. It's worthy of that.
So good.
I unfortunately mine, like I bought the campaign for it, and the 2 guys I was playing with were like 7 or 8 games in. I'm smoking them. They quit. So it's like. Mike said he's willing to jump in and play. I got to find somebody else that's willing to jump in and play in the last few missions so I can get it out of campaign state and get it back in the normal gameplay. But yeah,
I still have Fenris sitting on the shelf. That's one that I just haven't found people to do it with me. I want to.
Yeah, if I had the time, Bobby, really I would do it just to do it, just to get it off your shelf, because I haven't played it in so long that, like, if I go in and don't have a dog in the race, it's like, yeah. Sure.
And if you lose, be like, well, if so-and-so hadn't, set me up so crappily, I probably could have won.
Yeah, if Jimmy didn't suck for the first 7 games, I would have been fine. Yeah, like I said, I got no dog in that race, so it'd be perfect. Right on. Oh, so Scythe, great pick, fantastic pick. Awesome. Okay, so going in chronological order, I was a gamer or board gamer. And I was pretty much just a Magic player and a tabletop role-playing gamer. Because of the IP, and because I was such a fan of these books in the early 2000s, I was at the Griffin, which is our the oldest board game store in northern Indiana. Been around there since the 70s. And we'd go there and buy role-playing game books all the time. I was probably buying some stuff for either D&D or maybe a Nominee or maybe Call of Cthulhu or Deadlands. But I'm like, holy shit, there's a Game of Thrones board game. So Game of Thrones first edition, I'm like, oh my God, a board game costs $60? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, no way in hell, ever. And kind of like you with Scythe, but not turned off by farming, but just turned off by the price point. Eventually, I was like, I've got to play this game, because we had already played Risk and we played Axis and Allies and some of those games, and it's like, but this is Game of Thrones. It sounds so cool. And yeah, that looks like the first edition artwork.
You said first edition, not second.
I did, yeah. And oh my God. We bought first edition. We fought through that rule book, learned how to play a game that was heavy without ever playing like a lot of gateway games, right? Like, we didn't have that benefit of like scaffolding all your learning off of other things. And oh my God, though, this game was so epic, to play. And to feel out, like to really feel like you're like in the books, and you're going through those wars and everything, was so worth it. But then at the same time, it was still crazy, because I would go to friends' houses to play like Magic or something, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna play. If you're down, we're gonna play like Arkham Horror or something." I'm like, "No, I don't want to play that shit. Like, I'm here to play Magic, or I'm here to play a role-playing game." And now I'm like, oh, cool, you're going to play a role-playing game. That's awesome. I wish I had the time, but instead I'm going to play all these board games. But yeah, man, going into Game of Thrones cold just for my passion of the IP, and that was enough. And I didn't realize, like 10 years later after buying this game, that I was going to dive headfirst into this hobby and just become a maniac for it. Game of Thrones was a definite precursor to my love of the hobby. And just because it's like, I really like these books. I think at the time there was just 3, maybe Feast for Crows had just come out, maybe.
You were in early Raptor. You were in at the ground level. Wow.
I was early because one of Bob and I's mutual friends, Greg, was like, "You need to read this book," and then he gave me the first one to read, and then I was like, "Oh my god!" And then he gave me the second one to read. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And they have the third one, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Where's the next one?" He's like, we don't know. And then Feast for Crows came out. Then Feast for Crows came out. We're like, yes, more. And then there's like nothing for years and years and years. But then we got a great, like five great seasons of a TV show, which I'm really grateful for.
I did read before the series, but definitely not that early. I have not played that game, but the Living Card game, the LCG, the second edition we have everything. We have
nice.
My current wife and I, we go deep on that
Bless her heart.
Game, but
I have not played the LCG, but very cool. Very cool. Love that.
Also a big fan of the IP. Those books are phenomenal.
So good.
So good.
Yeah. So good.
Sweet. All right. Number two.
Ooh,
yeah. What are you drinking over there, Galen? That sounded delicious.
Oh, yeah, we never. So tonight we're drinking Whistle Pig 10 years.
Whistle Pig.
Really
nice.
Good bourbon, rye bourbon, and it's a tasty one. What do you
killed
got?
my small bottle of Mayors.
Nice. Yeah.
I went to my roots. I got some Wild Turkey 101. I got
good stuff.
Just straight out of Louisville, Kentucky. Let's go.
It's just that kind of a day today, on Tim.
Bro, it's been that kind of week.
I hear that.
Clark, real quick diversion. Clark, my youngest, my son, he's on these risers in music class, right? And like they're doing a school program tomorrow where they all got to sing and do stuff, blah blah blah. The kid behind him pukes, and it's like all down Clark's back. And now Clark doesn't want to do the thing because he's afraid that whoever is standing behind him is just going to puke down his back.
Well, it's like they puke than he pukes, though.
Well, true.
Yeah. Think how embarrassed they are because they just threw up in front of everybody.
Yeah, but the danger then is
he makes fun of them.
Well, there's that too, I guess. But
see, that's the kind of thing I can actually help somebody with, like in one session, and you're good. You're good for life.
Oh,
yep. I do EMDR is a big thing I do. I do a lot of trauma work, but yeah, simple one-time things where it's just like stuck revolving in your head. Yeah, especially with kids, super quick.
Man, where were you
30
years ago when I had a fear of cameras?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, we're gonna pay Galen for some like FaceTime sessions.
We'll barter here. Yeah.
What are your rates? What are your rates?
I work for Catholic Charities, so they pay me, and then everybody gets in for free. So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the Lord's work, literally.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Hoop.
So my number two, this is where it kind of changed pace a little bit. I took a chance on this game because I knew I liked the designer. I played a lot of games that he has done. I heard nothing about this game, but when David Turksey released Venice, I scooped it up, and man, I love this game. Now, there are issues with the original board. It gets super crowded super quick because you're moving on your gondola through these different streets of how can I say Venice, and picking up these goods, kind of pick up, deliver, contract fulfillment, engine building, and it gets really crowded. So they released a new board called Da Vinci's Workshop, and it's much bigger. There's space for everything. It's a much better board. If you get a chance to play it, use that board instead. I highly recommend it. But it's just a fantastic game, and like it's got one of those cool mechanisms where, like, as you're passing other ships throughout the night, you're building this intrigue up, and you have to be careful because you're, arising suspicions. And if you will have the most intrigue at the end of the game, you cannot win regardless of how many points you have, because they come and arrest you because you're just,
too suspicious.
Too suspicious. That's right.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But I really love this game because, like, as you stop at the different houses. You can like level up your workers so that they do more at that location, or you can like sail past them and just activate them at their current spot where they're at. And depending on how far you go, you pay money as you go around. And it's just got a really neat like engine building, contract fulfillment, feel to it. And the pieces are really cool. I love this game. I'm glad I don't know anybody else that has this game. I've talked to a bunch of people. They've enjoyed it. And it's one of his, I guess, lesser knowns. Because it's funny because I was talking to him and I mentioned that, oh yeah, I really like Venice. And he was like, seemed surprised that was like the game of his that I would bring up because, he's done so many other, works and whatnot that being a game of his that I really enjoyed surprised him.
So Bob, you did the old trick, right? When you meet a celebrity or somebody that you like that's made stuff, you find those deep cuts and you're like, no, man, I'm a real fan because I like this game.
That's right.
Right.
I mean, that's not why I did that, but it just, happened to work out that way.
Sure. It's like if you meet Weird Al and you're like, Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota is my favorite song. And then he's like, oh, okay, you're like a real fan because you listen.
And then I repeat it back to him word for word. He's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then it gets weird because that's like a 7-minute song.
You stand there like, I gotta go.
I don't want to be a dick, but like this guy.
I did go to his B-sides vanity tour twice, so hey.
Yeah, my current wife and I went to the one show where he wasn't doing any of the hits or whatever.
That's the B-sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly's like,
self-indulgent tour.
Yeah, she's like, wait, he's not doing those songs? I'm like, trust me, it's going to be great. She had a great time, but like she was worried for 2 seconds.
Right. Man,
how heavy is Venice?
Show. What's that?
How heavy of a game is Venice?
I'd put it like maybe a 3.8. It's not quite a 4. I mean, to learn to play it is easy, but to get good at it is trickier because you're trying to optimize your paths and you're knowing what buildings are the better buildings to hit up. It's really not. I mean, which is kind of surprising because like the Brain Crack, they make a lot of kind of heavier, crunchier games, and it's really not. Like I mean, I could teach it in 20 minutes, and then it take probably an hour 20 to play. So
okay, all right. Yeah. No, I'm intrigued. It sounds like a really neat mix of theme and mechanics, and I love Venice. I'll never forget.
Oh, it was cool. It was like you got 2 gondolas, and so each round you move your dude from gondola to gondola, and you're moving them around and you're picking stuff up. But you can also like drive past your other one and like swap goods on them. And then you're drop them off at different places, fulfill those contracts and whatnot. And it's really good.
Yeah, that pick up and deliver like route management, kind of thing, but where because you can pass between, right? Like relay stuff, just adds a different level, like what you're doing and makes it, really interesting.
That sounds good. Yeah. Cool. All right. Number 2, right? So this one for me, this was also in that era of big purchases required a lot of thought and were rare. My current wife and I, we were coming up on Christmas, and we had been doing a lot of research in the game store, and again just based on covers. There was nowhere we were reading reviews, there was nowhere else we were playing some of these games, but just what we thought looked cool. And we each wrote some game names on a slip of paper, and we were going to buy one for ourselves, right, a gift to ourselves, and we put them all in a hat. And the one that got pulled out was one I had written, and it was Summoner Wars, which went on to become one of my absolute favorite games of all time. Just got one of the first game I ever bought everything for over time.
Nice.
Not second edition. He's not getting me a second time, but the first all the way in. Absolutely everything. Got the broken token insert and all the good stuff, sleeved it and just went all in. And I still love this game. It's such a good game. And so pure luck, it could have been any number of other things. And I would have loved them. I don't know, but I highly doubt it. It's absolutely just such a fantastic game. Really got me into that company too, Plaid Hat Games. I was just a fan at that point. Anything they made, I was checking out for quite a while. I was pretty deep into those guys. It was cool actually meeting Colby at one of the PAX.
Oh, right on. Yeah, hell yeah.
Pretty dope. because I was like, oh, I have played your game so many times. Like, I love this. So yeah, that's my number 2, Summoner Wars.
Bob, did you ever play Birthright D&D back in the day with me and Greg?
I know of it. I don't think we actually played it.
Okay, so Birthright has it's a D&D, module universe, whatever, and you're playing as like regents, or you can play as like regents of like these little kingdoms and everything. And there is a Summoner Wars, reminds me of sort of like, for lack of a better, sort of a mini game that was in that D&D thing, because when if you were to go to war with another country, you'd have these cards and they'd have their little stats and you're lining them up, you know what I mean, and you're moving them around, and then they're taking hits. Think of like your Civilization game, Bob, so they got the stats, and then you could rotate the card if they got hit, so then the stats change when they got hit. So like I never played Summoner Wars. I actually did own it for a little while because I got it in a trade, and then somebody else really wanted to trade it, so I traded it without playing it. But I was looking at all the cards, and I was very much getting those kind of vibes, and was like, oh, this is a Tim game. Sometimes you look at a game and you're like, oh, hell yeah, like I can get down with this.
It does have a great app if you ever want to check it out. I think only the 2nd edition one works now, but it's a very good app.
Yeah, I've messed around with the app a little bit too, and yeah, I thought the app was a great way to sort of, and I think that at the time was why I was okay with letting it go, because I was like, I'll play it on the app. Now I kind of wish that I had some of the stuff for it still, but such is life.
Such is life.
But anyways, great pick. Love that. So my number 2, it's going to tie into Syracuse, New York. Because sometimes these games they come to you and they become part of your lexicon, right? It just becomes a part of when you go and you're gaming. This game now is in my bag all the time, and it is just by chance. I didn't pick this game, but I didn't care because I was really excited that Brandon and Nikki Young wanted to play Tumbling Dice with me, Bobby. And so we're at QSCon 2 years ago, and I kind of knew Brandon a little bit just from like, because he watched the show and we chatted while he watched the show and everything. And I roll into QSCon with West. Mike and Bob are already there. And I mean, Googs is a great host, right? But he's busy running the whole thing. Like that's the good and the bad thing about QSCon. QSCon is so good, and I'm on Mike's home turf, and I barely get to see him because he's so busy making sure everybody's having a great time. He's doing his job. I ain't mad at him. But again, a testament to QSCon and the great people there is, I show up, and I know the Rossies, I know a few people there and everything. And then Brandon and his wife, Nikki, are like, hey, we're playing games. And I'm like, let's go. So we start playing games, and we're like, we need a end of the night game. Like, we should just pick a game that's just going to be like the game we play at the end of every night of the show. And I think it was Nikki that pulled Tumbling Dice. Like, she's like, we should play that. I've always wanted to play that. We should play that. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. I don't care. Like, I'm just happy to be there. You know what I mean? I'll play anything. I would have played Monopoly with them if they were like, hey, we want to play Monopoly at the end of every night. Whatever. Like, I was just happy to be there. We start playing Tumbling Dice. Randy Nash, right? Is it Randy Nash's Tumbling Dice? Is your OG one? Bob?
I think so. It's the mediums, what it's called.
It's got that dude's name on the box. It's like from mid 90s, and we're playing this game, and especially when we're playing games like this, we're the loud table. We're playing this, we're playing Flip 7, we're playing games like that. We're the loud table, we're rowdy. And it's late at night, and we are just having a hell of a time. And I like freaking love this game. I was trying to find that OG 90s version, but I didn't want to pay $200 to get it shipped from Germany, like, you know, off of eBay, which is basically like the only one I could find like that. So I found a comparable one from Eagle Griffin off their reprint, and it's the one that Bob has, or that Bob showed a minute, you know, like the first one he showed. And the great thing about this, and I'm so glad that it happened, even though initially I was not, but I'm so glad it happened. They misprinted my board. So tumbling dice is a board you have to kind of put together every time because it's like different levels and you're flicking the dice down and it's rolling down and into the different scoring zones. Well, they printed the ×3 area in a way that it's going to be covered by the ×2 area because it has to sit on top of it. So the 3 is in the wrong spot. The 3 should be over here. It's actually here. It's covered. And everybody was giving me shit about it. And I said, you know what? Screw this. I took a Sharpie and I just wrote X3 on there. And then, so that kind of became a joke. And then what I started doing though, is when we started playing this at like Origins last year, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Take that marker and sign my board. Whoever wins when we play, sign my board. And now my board is filled with signatures, and like it will continue to be filled with signatures. And I keep a couple of Sharpies in there, gold and silver. I let whoever wins pick what color they want to sign with. They sign the board. And then when that board fills up, I'm going to buy another board and I'm going to keep doing the same thing. And like, so from that QSCon experience, and then add on that freak misprint that I had with my board, I have
see right
built,
there, there's no ×3.
I have built this tradition that I just love so much. And I have gotten people to play this game that don't play board games when it was really slow. We had to work Christmas Eve at my job, and like the phone rang maybe one time and maybe one customer walked in the door. And so I have my employees who do not really play board games. I was like, you know what, we're playing. I'm going to bring in tumbling dice. We're going to play it. And they're talking shit like 5 minutes into this game. They're talking trash. We're playing. We're having an awesome time. You know, they like, well, we got to play again. I didn't sign your board yet. You know what I mean? Like people sit down now and they want to sign the damn board, you know, and it's like, the $60 that I spent on that game has been worth it because I've played it 100 times and I've watched other people play it and get to sign the board, and they're so excited to do it. And it's like, that's all I want, right? That's what I want from this hobby is those kind of experiences. And to get to do that and have that, and it's now just become such a thing. And I'm the guy that used to have problem with like legacy games because I didn't want to like tear up a card, you know what I mean, or put a permanent sticker on a board. Right. And now I'm like, no, hell yeah, sign my board, you know, like here's a marker, like deface this game that I purchased.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely helped that it was already messed up.
Yeah, it was already messed up. So
look at that. It's everybody's favorite span.
Yeah, it's the Tim span. It's the best span.
Check out our Instagram.
That was like a number one.
Got it full of memes.
Can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, my number one actually tops it, but tumbling dice could have been my number one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that will take us to. All right. So I'm sure you guys saw me exit stage right for a few minutes. I'm going to call an audible on my last one to kind of go with
tumbling dice. No, I'm just kidding.
So when I was first getting into gaming, okay, I'm old, right? Gen X. Here we are. Satanic panic was a real thing. I went to a high school in an area that was pretty religious. They looked down upon a lot of things that had questionable, we'll say, material in it. But when I bought this book and my buddies and I gave Dungeons and Dragons,
Advanced D&D,
a chance, oh my gosh, this opened up so many windows. It's opened up so much like vocabulary for me. I've met so many people that I know and love through role playing games, and it never, well, besides present company excluded. But yeah, if I had not taken that chance, and then I mean, not that he's ever gonna see this or watch this, but like my parents, they were big on, the satanic panic thing. They were freaking out about it. And, they wanted to stop me from playing it. I was like, Dad, I said, give it a chance. I said, sit in, watch us play. You'll see there's nothing to freak out about. So we're sitting there, we're playing, we're rolling dice, we're cracking jokes, we're drinking root beer. He's like, this is it? I'm like, this is it. He's like, you guys are fine. And so thanks to him having an open mind, I was able to open my mind to this whole new world of just gaming and experiences and things like that. And yeah, like this is the original book. You can really see the cover's coming off. There's an old school character sheet in there still. But yeah, I mean, this is from back in the 90s. This is my OG book that I had.
Hell yeah. Let's calculate some THACO for old time's sake. Let's go.
That's right. I had a girl tell me that on a dating site one time. She's like, real men use THACO. I was like, ooh, talk nerdy to me.
That could be your current wife, Bob.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I love it. That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, really good audible on that. That's a good story. I like that. D&D could absolutely been one of the stories too.
86, that's old school D&D there. That's the that's not even the AD&D. That's D&D regular style.
All right, number one. So for me, number one is going to be Mage Knight, and
nice.
This one is my origin story. Honestly, as a designer, in a lot of ways, I suppose you could trace it back to a couple different things, but for this particular one, once again, find ourselves in a game store. So, this year 2026. This will be the year I turn 50, and my mom still every year takes me out shopping, right? You got $100 to spend.
Hey, bless her heart. That's awesome.
I love it. Yeah. Right. And so this was some years back at this point, but I was in the game store and I had some money to spend, and I had narrowed it down to two games, Descent. I think it was 3rd edition at that point, and Mage Knight. And I'd played Descent before with my good friend Pedro, and I knew
it would have been 2nd edition Descent. Yes,
thank you. Yes, and I'd played it, and I was familiar with that game, but boy, that cover on Mage Knight really looks so.
Oh, it's a great cover.
It looks so cool. Yeah, right. I mean, there it is, right? And
it looks great.
Just amazing. And so spending way too much time. My poor mom, what's she going to do in a game store? But I'm reading and I'm comparing and I'm thinking and I'm making this big choice. And I'll hilariously, the reason I ended up going with Mage Knight is at the end, my final decision point was Mage Knight said the playtime is 1 to 2 hours. Ha ha.
No. Told you.
No. Well, it said more, so I said I'll go with a lower playtime. Right, like bullshit. But that was the deciding point. So again, there's the chance, that misconception. And oh my god, I dove into this game, and it was way beyond the heaviest thing I had ever fucking rule book, and just
there's a picture of Galen.
Oh my god, this is your cold fire magic against fire defense, but they've got swift, like just insane rules overhead. But I was into it. I was absolutely
yes.
I learned the game. I made people play it with me, and some of my favorite things. So I play the game almost entirely solo now, but in the beginning I tried to get people to play it with me. I think solo is honestly probably the best way to play the game.
Well, and you can play it in that designated, amount of time solo.
If you know what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First couple games will not be like that. And
no.
Yeah. Some of the stories from those games, teaching my friends that I find very funny. Two ones. One was, listening to them retell the story to other people. The one was like, okay, so, it had been 3 hours and we had just like had this massive turn and we defeated the city. And then Galen says, and now we only have to do that 2 more times.
You monster. Oh,
and then the other one, my good friend Mark, had said, quipped, Mage Night, more like Mage Week. And I thought that was hilarious. So.
That is good.
Oh, I love that.
Despite all that length, despite everything else, to this day, nothing delivers an experience like Mage Night. It is just, it is. There's something so good, so satisfying, so epic about just doing all the math and figuring it out and playing out all those cards, and you pull it off. It delivers in a way that no other game does for me. I absolutely love it. And so, 2 things about how that was the origin of myself as a game designer. One, it was the first game, and part of it probably was the fact that his name's like on the front of the box. I never seen that. Like, it's so big.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Designer's name like that on any boxes, really, or at least back then you didn't. Like Vlada Chevalato, like big, and I didn't know who the hell he was, and I said, okay,
right.
I know it gets his name that big on the box, but it was the first game where I really took a moment, and it's funny thinking about it now, and just like, okay, somebody actually came up with this. There was somebody who came up with this whole experience I've had and thought out all these things. Like, I mean, that should have been obvious to me, but I never thought about that with any other game. I just played the game. And this was the first time I really thought about kind of the mind behind the game. Like, there's somebody who does this. And I kind of became obsessed with the idea of creating that experience in something that would be shorter. Now, I never followed through on that. I haven't done that. I've taken other paths from that point, but that was the starting point of kind of diving into game design and thinking about designing a solo game. And from there, I, discovered Board Game Design Lab and a bunch of other places, and kind of fell really deep into the hobby and also deep into the land of design. And kind of that was really in a lot of ways the origin story. And I still do love that game. I got to find some time to play it again soon. I just got that whatever Dragon of the Apocalypse or whatever it is, that expansion up, and it showed up right at like 3 days before my campaign started. I'm like, yeah, I'll play you in a couple months. This
right
is happen right now.
Yeah, you don't have the bandwidth for that right now, but
not for a while.
But yeah, I love that. I love that genesis, right? Like, and again, it's not that dissimilar to sort of my Game of Thrones story, where you're like, I'm so obsessed with this right now that like it doesn't matter that I've never gotten to like that you're jumping into the deep end first. Like, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter because I'm so ready for this, and that carries you through. So my number one, you guys Bob and Mike, if you were here, could give me a hard time for sort of the hipster pick, because this game technically isn't out yet. But one of the just most amazing experiences that I lucked into was the first time I got to sit in on some game development. So I was at Origins a couple years ago, and I knew that in the evening, Googs wanted to hang out, and I loved that Googs wanted to hang out with me because he's just, there's just people that hung the moon for you. You think the world of them, doesn't, Mike's one of those guys. Like, he's just an amazing dude. And I hope he's watching, because he can hear me say it to his face. I know it'll make him uncomfortable and be like, shut up. And it's like, nah, man, you're the best. But he's like, hey, we're going to sign this game, but I need to play it. And so me and West and Googs, Bob, did you play it at all that night?
No, I missed it.
You missed it. Mike left early, but Andrew Stiles, the Rossies were there, and we all sat and played this game called Relative Space, and by Eric from Kibi Games. Yeah. I just couldn't remember if Eric had a co-designer on it or not. Did Alicia help him with it?
Nick.
Nick did. Okay.
Nick Lee.
So Eric and Nick worked on this game. They pitched it, I guess, that day to Googs. That night we played that game, I mean, 20 times in a row, and for hours till 2, 3 in the morning. And we kept kind of like pitching ideas and like, well, what about this? And okay, well, that was good, but have we tried this and that? And that was, I'm sitting at a table with like game designers and people that are like, I don't know. I look at you guys as different than me, right? I just play the games. I'm a connoisseur, right? I'm a consumer. Like, I enjoy games, but like, I haven't done what you guys have done. You know what I mean? Where you've done it to that level. And so I'm sitting at this table, but I'm throwing out opinions and suggestions. And it just blew me away that they were being taken just as seriously as like game designers, suggestions. And that's where I really got to meet like Dave and Di and hang out with them. I really like the fact that Mike thought high enough of me to include me in that experience, sort of, I think, took our relationship, our friendship to like a different level. I'm sitting there with like all of these people that I respect. I got to know Andrew Stiles because of this. I got to spend more time with West and like get to know Wes Todd because of this. And it was such a mind-blowing experience. And it was one of the best times I've ever had playing anything but just a very simple card game. And we were breaking it and we're changing the rules. And I'm like, you're allowed to do this? Yeah. Like, it just blew my mind that's even a thing. Yeah. And, but like, everybody was so awesome about everybody else's opinion. Evan Halbert was there. You know what I mean? Like, we're all just talking and we're playing this game. And, it wasn't like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Everybody was like, yeah, no, that's good. Or have you thought about this? Or that won't work because of this. But it wasn't like shooting down ideas arbitrarily. Like, it was like a genuine like discussion and think tank, and to be a part of that was so insane. And I remember it so vividly and I love it. Like, I don't know that I could design a game like you guys do, but to be able to sit there on a dev session and feel like I was part of that, and we had such a good time doing it, and the bonds that I developed and built doing that were like, you always love the hobby, right? You'll always love the hobby for that. And I'll always love the hobby for the relationships I've been able to build and cultivate and develop, and those crazy little, lightning in a bottle kind of moments, and I've talked about that moment before on the show and everything, but it genuinely meant so much to me. It was just fucking mind blowing, and it's like, oh, this is how games get made, like, oh, like really, not just taking it and getting it play tested, but like actually sitting there and trying to break a game.
Making the sausage.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Fills my heart to hear that story. I love it. And I totally get it. A couple things about that. I think even as a designer, even as somebody who's led those development sessions and, makes the final choices and comes up with things, it's, they're relative. It's the same high. It's just as good. One of my favorite things in the world is getting a game in and open up the rule book and seeing my name as a play tester and being able to point to something like, I was there when we made this change. Like,
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Happened. Like that is good stuff. That is a wonderful thing. And I will say too, I mean, everybody has their own style of how they lead that. And I think I learned a lot from Mike, and I love his style too. And I've been at a number of tables where, hey, I've got a new game in, let's throw it around. Let's iterate immediately. Let's change things. People throwing ideas. What could happen here? What do you think? And, that kind of like, fast paced, conversational, we're all doing the thing. Nobody's the leader. You don't have to like look at Mike like, hey, is that the right idea? Like, everybody's part of that conversation.
It's all felt really so good. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we're all just a part of this, right? We're in the moment, and it's and it's like happening so fast, and again though, right? Like I became friends with the Rossies that night, like I just felt down and immediately felt like I knew them, you know what I mean? And
good people.
I made so many relationships that night, and
hey Diana,
and just to get to be in that, get to be a part of that and included in that, right? Like that was the other thing is there was multiple times I'm like sitting around that table going, what the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure they were wondering that too.
Yeah, probably. That, to be fair. But I'm like, when's the roll and move happen?
Honestly, some of the best, most substantial ideas come from players. That they really do. I will tell you that some of the best stuff, some of the moments I can point to, like where things change, they just come from players, just play testers.
Yeah.
Designers are great when you get to the nitty gritty refinement stuff, right? Like I'm not saying we're not good at other things too, but
sure.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely, like it's so important, and in some ways it's such a quality to have. Not that you have innocence because you're a board game reviewer and you're familiar with everything that's going on and you have the context and everything like that. But just having that kind of not thinking about it necessarily with a game design brain, but just what would be fun in this moment. It's so important. It's so important to do that. Like playing with designers, I think is really important ultimately. But if you just do that, those aren't the best games. I swear.
Well, I mean, because it's almost like you're too inside, right? You're too inside of it. You can't see the forest for the trees, kind of thing, right? But yeah, it was just such a wild experience. And then the next day, I was over at the Third World Studios booth, just bullshit with Mike for a minute, and Eric Bettinger walked up, and Googs is like, "Hey, it was his game we were playing last night." I was like, "Oh, dude, like, loved it. I don't know if you're gonna love what we did with it because we did like a ton, like we kept." And he's like, "I don't care. Like, you guys had a good time. Like, that's great. Like blah blah blah." And now, like Eric and I are good friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that serendipitous, sort of thing. Like like I just, God, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things that happens. Like I can walk up to you, Galen. I can walk up to you at a show or at a convention and just bullshit with you because we built this relationship and this friendship over freaking board games, dude. Like,
absolutely,
it's amazing. And then Bob, whether he likes it or not, decades of, I won't call it a friendship because I don't hurt your feelings, but decades of a relationship because of role-playing games and then board games. It's so good. Oh wait, what? I was stuck in the first player marker of one of my games and a playtester solved it in a second. Oh.
Yep.
Outside perspective.
Sometimes, man.
Somebody who's not bogged down, that's the thing too. You get so bogged down in the history of your game design too. Like, oh, this was there because of this, and this thing exists because of this, and somebody else just seeing it fresh and they're like, I want to do the fun thing. Why is this thing in the way of my fun thing? And you're like, oh,
sure.
You're right. Like, right. Oh, obviously. And now the game's great. Yeah.
This is a phrase I like because I think it's actually really important. But have you ever had to kill your darlings, in like a game, and you're like, oh, I love this. And everybody else is like, no, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll know the darlings on the chopping block for months and months and months, but I just can't bring myself to do it. And then I eventually do it. I will say that transition from just being, self-publishing my own designs to publishing other people's designs, killing other people's darlings is a lot easier. It's it's wonderful. You get there's so much spectrum. Like game development's fantastic. I mean, that's what you were experiencing was game development, not just
yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. I could do what I wanted. I could pitch out anything. It didn't matter. Oh, that's so funny. I love it. But yeah, man, I think it's just why, fundamentally at the end of the day, it's why board games are so important to me, my mental health, my physical health, just your happiness. It's what I've got. It's just one of those things. I look forward every time I'm getting ready, despite the fact that it being at Bob's house when we go to film a bunch of stuff. I don't throw the hate at Bob like Bob throws at me normally, so I'm trying to just push back a little bit. But just the excuse to spend time with some friends and like, hey, we're gonna play some games, we're gonna talk about them, and then when we do these shows, and I get to hang out with people and designers and stuff, So Galen, I see you once, maybe twice a year if I'm lucky, right. So to get to kind of hang out and bullshit with you, it's like, hell yeah, man. This hobby gives us that avenue, like. Yeah. I think it's easy for people to take that shit for granted.
We should, for the people, get the people what they want, run back through our top 5.
We should do that, Bobby.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job keeping us on track.
I try. So real quick, my 5 to 1, I started out number 5, Mythical Dice, and then Courtesans, The Fall of Kingdoms.
Yeah, I love that. You're welcome.
Venice. And then 8 Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition is my number 1.
Great pick.
Audibled.
Now, while you calculate Taco, Galen will tell us his top 5.
That's right. Okay, I'm getting the calculator out.
So my top 5, at number 5, I had Dominion / Thunderstone. So deck building games.
Perfect.
Number 4 was Corsari. Number 3 was Scythe. Number 2 was Summoner Wars, and number 1 was Mage Knight.
I love it. These lists are so diverse. It's so good. Mm-hmm. So my number 5 was Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game. My number 4 was Hero Quest. Number 3, Game of Thrones. Technically 1st edition, but obviously go out by 2nd edition. You're fine. Number 2, Tumbling Dice. And number 1, coming soon from Third World Studios, Relative Space. So a little bit of cheat there, but yeah, Jim said AD&D. Yeah, 2nd edition. I do love me some 2nd and 3rd edition are where I'm at for D&D. Galen, do you do any role playing games? Is that a part of your?
Currently, I had a time. My friend Pedro, that I mentioned before, fantastic dungeon master. There was a year and a half of my life where I was part of a D&D campaign. As an adult, I never did. I always saw it as a kid, and I was fascinated by it, but there was nobody who was doing it, was inviting me, right? Like it was just not happening. And so as an adult, I got into it, and it was honestly, I mean, like one of the best experiences of my life. I love it. That was in, I believe, 5th edition at that point. So yeah. It, but it was amazing.
Doesn't matter. Whatever edition you play and love, like God, good on you, right? Like God bless it. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, my character has stories that I remember as if they were part of my own life, right? Like it was an amazing year and a half. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
And we had an ongoing campaign. Yeah. Our dungeon master moved away, our best one. And but we had an ongoing every Sunday campaign for how many years? 2 years, 3 years?
Oh, at least 3.
Yeah,
at least 3 years.
Missed maybe a couple of Sundays here and there, but virtually every single Sunday we played. And man, that was just some of the best times, some of the best stories.
And I think most of the time we only ever stopped because he had only prepped so much. Like we were so like hungry for it. We're like, we can go more. And he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out. Yeah.
I'm out. This is what I got. And he had a standard. Like he wouldn't just like bullshit and whip some stuff together to keep it going. Like, no, like I'm done. This is what I have prepped.
And then you spend 2 weeks trying to figure out how to get over a 2-foot wall. And we went the room next door and tried to.
It was, hold on. The wall was 6 foot. We're like, we'll get a grappling hook and we'll fire it. We'll rent a room from the building across the street. It's like
we're gonna rent the room across the street.
We were very much those gamers that needed to way overthink shit.
D&D is notorious for that.
Oh, it's so good for that. Yeah.
One quick story for my campaign because it was just
hell yeah.
So I'm a musician as well.
Right.
So I played a rogue. I probably should have played a bard, but I, as part of the story, I had written a story about the heroes to try to increase our fame, the 5 heroes of Phandalin. So I wrote an actual song for it, and I brought the acoustic guitar and I played it for the group, and they loved it. And but my dungeon master was stingy. He's like, "All right, roll for it. Let's see how how well the song went over." And I rolled a 20. And so it was a critical hit song, which was amazing. And it was so funny because it lived on through the rest of the campaign where, we know you guys, the 5 Heroes of Phandalin, the song, like they play it around. It was a big deal. And it got us in through so many doors. But over time, it was like people got sick of the song. Like, oh, the 5 Heroes of Phandalin. Yeah, I heard this one.
Really, you guys are good.
So it was such a great moment. And I love the way it had kind of like a legacy through the campaign. And
dude. Yeah. That is a testament to your game master, right? Like, good job there. And also, like, awesome job coming up with the song.
Yeah.
It was so fun. It was so ridiculously fun. Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Is like, that's what those kind of games allow, is sort of those running stories and jokes and, and all kinds of crazy shit that can happen. But, well, sweet. This has been an absolute blast, Galen. I hope you've had a good time.
Yeah. Good topic.
Thanks for rolling.
Yeah.
With it. That's good.
Oh, hell yeah. And honestly, if anybody had just done like games of chance, like games that are only just chance, I would have been fine with that too, because I very much like, hey, interpret the list the way you want. Like, put up, it's your list. You do it the way you want. But I love hearing these stories, like the stories you guys have. Yeah. And, because for me, that it just enriches the hobby and my love of it, is like all these stories that we have and that fellowship and that bond. So everybody, please go check out the Mint 10 Games Series 2.
Yep.
On Kickstarter right now. It's already funded, so it's safe, right? That's what we used to say back in the day.
Safe, yeah. Throwing it in the chat.
So yeah, there it is. Go follow it, check it out. I would say just go ahead and get all 4. If you only think you like 1 or 2 of them, just get all 4, because the price point is what it is. It ain't bad. And then if you only like 2 of them, give the other 2 away. You'll be a hero in your group, because they're gonna
good stocking stuff.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Galen, anything else you want to promote or talk about before we sign off for the night?
No, that covers it, guys. This was a lot of fun, and honestly, it's been a nice. I got a lot more campaign to go, but kind of having already funded and the success. Maybe it's the whiskey talking, but this feels like I'm finally getting my celebratory.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Let that whiskey talk. It's all good.
Right. It's got shit to say.
Yeah. And Galen, we need to have you on when you're not just running a campaign. Like,
I'm happy to do it.
You're a good hang, man. Like, we need to have you on anyways. So
let's do that. That sounds great.
But all right, Bobby, anything else, sir?
No, sir. I don't think so.
All right, real quick, I will just say, hey, we do have a Patreon. If you'd like to support the show that way, you can go over there, check it out. We do throw some content up early over there. You get
watch Tim teach games wrong.
Hey, listen, that's life. You signed up for that. You either learn them yourself or you let me teach it wrong.
I'm still here, aren't I?
That's fair. You know what, Bob? That's what I need to say anytime you start talking shit about me and what a terrible friend I am. But you're still here.
No. I've never said you were a terrible friend. Not once have I said you're a terrible friend. Terrible person, yes.
Okay,
terrible friend, no.
Okay.
These are my current friends, Tim Bot and Bob.
That's right.
Well done. Well,
gotta bring it back.
For the sake of our current wives and Bob's, search for one, I will say for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Galen.
Hell yeah. Thanks for watching. We will see y'all next week. This has been awesome.
Bye.
Night. Bye.
Do you like to party?
I do like to party.
I also like to party.
I like to party.
A 7.3.
This is a great party.
Repeating.
We should party more often.
I do like to party.
Okay.
I also like to party. I also like to party.
I like to party. I like to party.
We should party more often.
Okay.
This is a great party.
Okay.